We watched the sign. It opened up our eyes and made us cry. We watched the sign. Stay tuned to find out how it went.
You know what we're talking about. Bluey, the sign. Stay tuned to find out. Hello and welcome to Couple Chat.
Where we
Parents.
discuss topics for you.
Parents. I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie. Let's chat.
They're selling their house?
If you saw Ghostbasket, you would know. Ghostbasket released 6 days ago. And we only watched it yesterday?
Right. We did not realize. And you know, thank you to the parenting community out there, because nobody said anything that I've seen.
I have seen 2 posts. One was, oh, we made the granny's car from the Ghostbasket episode.
Oh, yeah, I did see that too.
And then another was for the sign. And the guy's like, how many days has it been since, how many days has it been since Bluey's made me cry? And like he erases the 6 days and he puts a big 0. Those are the only 2 that I've seen.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I'm shocked we haven't seen more because we are big Bluey fans.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, little anecdote before we get into the sign. So we're sitting there and it's like 6:30 and we usually put our kids to bed about 7. We get them ready and then they're in bed by 7:38. So we're sitting there and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a new Bluey episode. It's the long one. So guys, you want to watch new Bluey? Of course they were like, yeah. And I turn on Disney Plus and I see, obviously Ghostbasket's first, and we didn't watch that yet either. So we're like, all right, well, we have to watch this first. And we're watching, and it is Ghostbasket's a strange episode. And you said something while we were watching it that made my wheels start to turn. So what would
I think it was just one of those things where I was like, this is weird. Because usually, like, they fabricate real life, right? Bluey's making up
real
a game.
life.
Yeah, for real life. So it's just funny how, are you the house selling person? Like, the terms that mom and dad were using, it's like, like this seems very like, very much like Bluey would do, where it's like not dumbed down but like more of a childish way of doing like selling a house. And then, I'm watching it and then we get to the end of the episode and they zoom out and you see a sign and I'm like, that's a real sign. And I looked over at Matt and I'm like, are they selling their house? And he was just like, no. He was in complete denial.
I just didn't it happens quick. For any of you who have seen Ghostbasket, it's like if you're not paying attention, you miss it.
Yeah.
And it's like they pull out from the house, you see the sign, and that's the end of the episode. They don't even hold on it long.
No.
It's like a really quick cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And but no, you asked a rhetorical question to me. You were because it wasn't meant to be answered, but you were like, this is a strange game for them to be playing, or why are they playing this game? It's so strange.
Yeah, it was something like, well, this is a weird thing for them to play. Yeah.
So when you said that, it my wheels started turning, and I was like, yeah, why are they playing this?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. It never hit me until you saw the sign. So anyway, more to this anecdote. So obviously her and I are now staring at each other like,
uh-oh.
Okay, I guess we're watching this next episode, and we're already we're prepared. We all know.
We were not prepared.
We were not prepared, but we all know what Bluey does to parents. And, but anyway, so to finish out the anecdote, we start watching it. The kids are getting a little rowdy. They're getting a little annoying. And her and I are just like, all right, kids, we'll watch the rest of this tomorrow. It's a pretty long episode. It's already, getting late. Let's go to bed. So we put them to bed. We film a couple chat, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like, we are finishing the sign, right? And we came down to the theater and we finished watching the sign. Part of me's like, I'm happy that we watched it on our own.
Mm.
But part of me's like, I kind of wish that they were there to see our reactions to it.
My thing is, Emma's not there yet. Like she understands when you hurt her and say ow, and she's like, I'm sorry, or like, you okay? But like I don't think she really gets like when I'm sad or when you're upset or like anything like that just yet. Nate, on the other hand, has some sort of idea.
Yeah.
But okay, so Matt missed the part in the anecdote where we were 3 minutes into the episode and I'm already a blubbering mess over the sign episode. And he looks over at me, I make eye contact with him, and then the other two are like the two of them are just wrestling on the couch.
Yeah, they didn't.
Lights are off, the episode's playing, and they're just acting like wild beasts. Typical toddler behavior. And I think we both just realized that this was not the place nor the time. Right. And it was something that we just needed to put on the back burner and do on our own.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I'm not upset that we watched it on our own just because I'm glad we got to see it and like feel it fully and not have to hide anything, which I don't think we would have hid, but we also got to pay attention. We also got to hear the dialogue, see the context clues, really take in the episode for the beauty of what Bluey is. It shows you, I mean, Chili and Bandit just like they're like the pedestal of what parenting like can be.
But I feel like that's what's beautiful about this episode is they showed that that's not true.
Right.
And more than ever before,
mm-hmm.
There was so much doubt in Chili throughout the episode. And then Bandit like is lying to himself most of the time. And then obviously his doubt creeps up on him. Mm-hmm. But the episode's so powerful because of the way that Bandit and Chili are fighting for something that none of us were expecting. Like Bluey, Bluey's an emotional show, and like every once in a while they throw like a really good one at you, and you're like, "Wow, why am I crying in the middle of a Sunday?"
Yeah.
But like this episode was different. Obviously, that's why it was a longer episode. They had to tell a more in-depth story, but there's so many layers. Yeah. There's so many layers to it, and I don't know about you other dads out there, but I've seen a lot of entertainment and I've related to a lot of characters. I feel so connected to Bandit. He's just everything that I want to be, and like I feel like I am sometimes, and then like just some of the things he does and wants to do. And it's just, I don't want to spoil this episode for any of you who haven't watched it, but you really need to.
Yeah.
If you haven't.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to say, I don't want to say like the episode's about him, but like I do feel like by the end of it, it kind of feels that way. And there's this really, really powerful moment at the end. And I can't even. This is what their show does to you. It's a kid's cartoon. It's just really good. It's just really good. And I was upset with the ending a little bit, but I wish it went a little differently because, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but, at the same time, yeah, it's fine. It was wonderfully done.
So I'm sure you'll see this on the recording later, but I just had this gigantic, mind-blowing revelation.
Oh?
Ready?
Okay.
So when they're on vacation,
yeah.
What was Bandit upset about?
I thought that the whole time, actually.
There was literally just like...
There was a moment yesterday when we were watching The Sign that I thought that, and I didn't... I just forgot to tell you about it, but yeah, 100%. Yeah. This is what's so brilliant about this show. And I don't want to make this about a whole Bluey praising episode, even though it's just easy to do, but like Bluey does such an amazing job. The writers are phenomenal. Some of the best writers in television. I'm not just saying
entertainment.
Yeah.
If you can make people cry in 7 minutes, if you can make people go through I go through at least 2 emotions in every episode.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not paying attention or if I'm just like dropping in for like 2 out of the 7. I am on a roller coaster.
100%. Dude, this episode, more than ever before, I was literally bawling my eyes out and laughing at the same exact time.
Yep.
And that's no joke. Watch this episode and you'll know exactly, Muffin is a sleeper hit. Always. But because this is a 30-minute episode and it's based around a big event that's happening for the entire family, not just the core healers, you get to see everyone and it's, you're going to be crying and laughing all at the same time. And it's just brilliant. But I was saying that's what's so great about the writing of this show is they've baked a ton of stuff into it. And I'm sure that they have thoughts and ideas going through them for a lot of the episodes. Maybe in the beginning it was just hey, one-offs, this is the type of show we want to write. But season 3, I'm sure if we go back to the beginning of season 3, we can probably see those moments. I mean, take the episode where he goes on the plane too.
Yeah.
There's a lot where you start to realize Bandit has this crazy job all of a sudden. And there was a switch up because when the show started, he was either unemployed or working from home. Yeah. They don't really say, obviously, but yeah, I mean, all of a sudden he has a job and he's going to work because there's another episode too where he's trying to go to work and they're trying to stop him and they do the whole trampoline thing. And
well, it's funny too because not related to Bandit, but in the TV's episode, the TV store episode.
Oh yeah.
That also tied in a lot with certain things.
Other
subplots
because they get into some of the other parents and the other kids that are involved in the TV shop. And that was so cool because they kind of hinted at certain things.
Yeah.
And then kids are so brash. There are some moments in The Sign where they totally just tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
But then
kids say the darndest things.
Yeah. But then there are, oh God, the whole coin thing.
Yeah.
I'm getting emotional again because as soon as that revelation happens and the climax of that little subplot comes to fruition, it's wow. It's just everything is just so well done.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I couldn't believe that they fit all this in 30 minutes.
I mean, I can.
No, of course, because of what they could do in 7, but
yeah.
Still, I felt like there was a lot going on in this episode.
A ton. Yeah.
Too much at times. But at the same time, the pacing was a bit odd. It was odd. You could definitely
purposeful.
Tell. Yeah?
It felt purposeful.
Okay.
Because it was one of those things where they dropped hints in the Ghostbasket.
100%, yeah.
And, they're talking about the event and what's going to happen and where they are and all of that.
Yeah.
So I think it really helps, I don't know, kind of tie it all in. It felt like it was a 2-parter. Even though Ghostbasket's only 7 minutes, it definitely felt like it could have been a whole piece.
Yeah. But they did that on purpose because they wanted you to marinate a little bit on that revelation.
Right. That's why they released them 3 days apart.
Yeah. I'm mad. I'm mad that we didn't watch Ghostbasket when it came out.
Yeah.
But we're used to see, this is the problem with Disney Plus, and this is the problem with the way they announce things.
Yeah.
But like with Bluey, they're like, hey, more episodes of Bluey. Here you go. And it's like 10 episodes and you watch them all.
Right.
You know, whereas with this, it was like they released one episode and I feel like Ghostbasket wasn't like pushed that much.
Well, it's funny because I kept asking you, I was like, isn't there a Bluey trailer? Isn't there like something new with Bluey? Like, have you seen the Bluey thing? Like, isn't there something new? And you're like, I don't want to watch a trailer. I don't want to ruin anything. Right. And it's like, but I feel like there was something. And we missed an episode coming out. Yeah. Because we just didn't watch it. I kept seeing Bluey videos and I was like, oh, okay, I'll skip the trailer. And then didn't even realize it was for a new episode that came out. It's just so funny.
Well, it's so strange because someone that we wouldn't expect to tell us, her aunt, who, you know, her daughter's 17, doesn't watch Bluey at all, but she does.
She watches it with us.
Yep. And oh man, yo, if you're listening to this or watching this right now,
you're not allowed to watch it alone.
Do not watch either of these episodes alone, and you need to come over immediately and watch it.
Mm-hmm. Right now, as you're listening to this, even if you're sitting at school or on the school bus, get off that bus and get over here.
No, definitely like this weekend or something. Yeah. But so her mom told us about it, your aunt.
Yeah, well, she was like, hey, did you know that I know your kids like the show because Emma's birthday, which is where my beautiful ears came from, was Bluey themed. So I think she just knew like how much we all really enjoyed it. Oh yeah. I don't think she knew at all the scale or why it was such a big deal that it came out. But it was nice. It was like, oh yeah, it's finally out, you know. It's been hype. It was being hyped up, and finally, like, we were able to sit down and enjoy bawling our eyes out.
Yeah. But 100%, if you're not a Bluey fan, or you've put it off, or you've heard people like, oh, yeah, Bluey, yeah, I've heard people love this show. I don't know, my kid watches Blippi, you know, like, whatever you're doing, just stop and go watch Bluey. Like, even if you don't have kids now.
We don't watch Bluey with the kids majority of the time.
Funnily, yeah. I mean, Nate is getting to the point where like he likes the show and he likes certain things about it. Yeah. Emma's still like kind of like, oh, Bluey, and then walks away and then doesn't watch anything.
Yeah. But I think for us watching it, like, I don't know, like you said, you relate to Bandit. I idolize Chili and wish I was as like a third as a good mom as she is. But you know, it's like kind of tips and tricks and just like seeing how they do it. It's so funny, like saying this about animated animals, but it's just such good writing. And I don't know who that writing staff is, but they deserve every award.
Ludo Studio.
They're amazing. Yeah. And you folks are just so inspiring, whether you're doing the animation or doing the writing. Like, the facial expressions, everything from Ghostbasket when Chili like runs away and leaves the house, like just like the subtle adjustments in these animated characters that could be human, right? If you just, you know, made it live action. Like, everything about it is just well done. Yeah. Well done. I'd stand if my back didn't hurt.
And, you know, if our shot wasn't very specific.
Correct. If you weren't just going to get mid-dripped.
And I'm also, you know, wearing shorts, not anything fancy under here.
It's like when you're at you know, when you're working from home and you're on a Zoom meeting. Right. It's like, all right, see you later. And you get up in your gym shorts when you're wearing a tie and a button down. Yep.
I've done that before.
I know.
Yeah. So the sign, we saw it.
And it opened up our eyes.
It totally did.
And made us cry so hard that our eyes were swollen shut.
Yeah.
My eyes were so swollen. And then we went to bed and I woke up and my eyes were still swollen. That's how much we cried. Or I cried.
It's just so funny because, like, again, this is a parenting couples podcast. We didn't say much about Bluey or Bingo at all. And obviously they're in it, and it's about them in a way, and like, but they're kind of always used, especially Bluey is always used as like the POV character. Like you're getting a look into this family through her eyes, but like
that, and she's always the teachable moment.
You're right.
Like she's always the one that's like, Bluey, this is the moral of your story.
Right.
And she's like, wait a minute, really?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously they're in it and all the kids are in it. And they're, that part's fine. That part's fine. It's great. All the characters are great. It's just, yeah.
It's too good.
It's too good. But
we're probably going to go watch it again. No, I can't.
No.
I can't go to sleep crying again.
Dude, this is just like, we've shied away from watching Kala's memorial video again because I just know how it's going to make me feel. And this is exactly how I feel about this right now. It hit us on a different level too. And I don't know, there's lots of parents that deal with the same things that are going on in this episode. They're selling their house, right? But some of the things that are going on and Bandit's, struggle, the way Chili, like, she's very different in this episode. Wait until you see it, guys. Like, it blew my mind how they really like pushed her character to a new place. And, it's not that it's bad. It's just, this is what happens,
It felt to me that it wasn't about Chili the mom.
Mm-hmm.
It was about Chili the person.
Yeah. And Chili the wife too, like, yeah, for sure.
The friend.
Yeah. But that's the thing too. You overlook that sometimes because you become a parent and that's it. You're a parent. So like going back to that vacation episode where he's having that internal struggle, like we didn't know what it was. And maybe it is this whole thing in this episode, but like, this is what parents go through. Like, and that's what was so great about the episode because we are kind of going through something like that right now. And we're trying to figure out what our next step is in our lives. So it's like, it's just so weird that this like came at the perfect moment for us. And I'm sure many other people.
Oh yeah.
But most of us don't make the decision that they made at the end. That's the thing that's hard. And that's the thing that's like, okay, that's fine that you guys made that decision, but we also need to see the outcome of that. And Bluey's usually pretty good at that, but I want to see an outcome of that decision. I don't want them to just gloss over and like move on and like, fun and games every episode again. Like they need to really show how Bandit's ultimate decision changes everything because it really is something that can make or break a family. And we all go through hard times. And I kind of want to see that like in this show, because it's not like, oh, yay, everything, is fine now. Like it's just not how life is.
Right.
And that's what's great too about the book that Bluey's teacher reads them.
Right.
Even she had like an amazing moment in this episode.
Right. And the voice actor who, the voice actress who plays Calypso, sings that song at the end of that episode.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I need to look that up like tomorrow.
Yeah.
That song was phenomenal. Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Huh. She actually performed it live on Bluey's channel on Instagram.
What? Well,
Yeah.
at least let's do that and cry after this.
Yeah. No, but
That's cool.
she's actually
Is she like a
musician.
famous like Australian singer or something?
I don't know her name. Like, I apologize. I don't know your name. I should have listened to it when you said it in the video.
What'd you watch? You watched it?
I watched like hey, I'm so and so. I play calypso. Like, I'm going to be singing the song from the episode live. So like, I'm watching this video and I didn't register her name, but
Gotcha.
I mean, she seems to be our age, maybe a tiny bit older, and I think she's an acoustic musician at least. So. But
Cool.
that was the cool part because like her voice is featured. That's the first time, right?
What?
That like, other than that, no, that's
You're
the
saying,
first time that there was a song
yeah,
with lyrics.
100%. I believe you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's another thing. So, we don't want to make this episode too long about a kid show that's 30 minutes, right? But
7.
usually. But for me as a filmmaker, music is so powerful. And Bluey has a great score and we love it. We listen to it religiously. The kids love it.
Emma falls asleep to it.
Yeah, that's what she was doing tonight.
Yeah.
We literally say, "Hey G, play Bluey the album," because for some reason Google doesn't know or understand that like the album's called Bluey the album, but you have to say album at the end for Google to understand to play the album. It's just very confusing.
You are learning all these people's assistants right now.
Yeah.
You just said
I
it
said,
twice.
"Hey G," though.
Yeah,
initially.
the first time.
Yeah. Anyway. So music is just powerful in filmmaking, and the way that they used it in this episode is what pushes it over the edge.
Yeah.
Because they chose, so kind of a spoiler, but not really. So in this last 3 minutes, you'll notice there's no other sound but this song. And some people don't notice. It's a feeling, it's a feeling you just get, but that just makes this ending even more powerful because like I couldn't even tell you what the lyrics are. It's just the feeling of the song and the way everything's edited and animated.
Yeah.
Talk for hours about how amazing this episode is. Maybe we should do a follow-up spoiler episode.
Yeah.
But
honestly, too, it's one of those things where we've been watching Bluey now for 2 years, right?
No, it's way longer.
Gotta be longer.
Yeah, we've been watching it since Nate was an infant.
Yeah,
I mean,
but this is this season recently is 49 episodes.
Yeah,
it's over 100 episodes. How many episodes do they have altogether?
I'm not sure. We definitely been watching longer than that because Nate was in our apartment and we were watching and he said dad but wouldn't say mom.
Right. His first word was dad.
That's always the thing. You already know that. Statistically, kids can say D's before M's. It's just easier for them.
And you know what? We have the exact same video of Emma doing it too.
But that wasn't her first word.
It was one of her first. And she did the same thing. Same inflection. Da! On my lap. Like, I'm in the video.
Yeah, you were in that one.
So sad.
You weren't in Nate's.
It's still.
I've been wanting to post that as a reel, but.
We should.
I know.
When your children's first words are part of this national phenomenon or worldwide phenomenon. Phenomena. Yeah. So, folks, just a couple hundred episodes. If you've never watched Bluey, which, where have you been?
Yeah.
However.
That's probably not true.
If your parents already of young kids, it's likely. If your parents have older kids and you're just starting to hear us, it's probably a little less than likely, or a little bit more unlikely.
You could still relate to it, but
for sure,
most likely you'd probably be like, "Oh yeah, these are things that happened to me, or these are things that I did when my kids were younger." But ultimately, like, you're not going to be able to like implement any of this information or knowledge now.
Yeah.
on your, either teen, 20-something adult children.
Yeah. But watch it. Just watch it all. And if you've caught up, watch Ghostbasket.
Yeah.
And watch The Sign.
100%. And cry. Cry.
Have a tissue box per person because you're going to need the whole dang thing.
Ooh, you know what I want to do?
I
want to do top Bluey episodes.
Oh.
We haven't done an episode like that in a while, and I love doing that stuff.
We could do a ranking episode, but that is going to be a very, very hard list to
I'm gonna say right now, this is my number one, 100%. I can't. Just knowing how
we'd have to
it made me
exclude
feel.
The Sign because obviously The Sign is number one.
Yeah.
So it's like that's like the jumping off point for the previous almost 200 episodes.
Right. That's fine. We could omit it just because it's like, could you consider an episode anyway? It's kind of like a mini movie kind of thing since Bluey episodes are usually 7 minutes. So.
Yeah, it's a short film.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the newest Bluey. We'll see when they come out with more, but maybe we will do some other episodes. If you guys are interested in hearing our thoughts on the episode in more detail, we can go into spoilers. Let us know out there, those few people that listen to us. And
hopefully more than a few at this point.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We know our reels reach a little bit more, hopefully a lot more soon. That would be great. We just want to communicate with people. This is kind of what this is about. We share in the same passions and things like that. And this show is just wonderful to do that with other parents. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie. Here are the Hahns signing out.
Thank you so much for listening to Couple Chat. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify or YouTube Music, and check out our YouTube page to see this episode in video. Thank you to Hahn Films for editing and producing this episode. Talk to you soon.